the February 10th, 2015 Buckeye Board of Education meeting, regular meeting, 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Sisalik. Here. Jansen. Here. Petek. Here. Stahl. Here. Marco.
Here. Like, join the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is up above, behind you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Meeting agenda statement. This meeting is a meeting of the Buckeye Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Number 5, approval of minutes. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approved the minutes of the organizational meeting of January 5th, 2015, special and regular meeting of January 13th, 2015, and the special meeting of January 31st, 2015. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Manson? Second. Mr. Petek? Roll call, please.
Manson. Petek.
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Sisalik. Yes. Marco.
Yes. Recommendation statement. Following are recommendations that have been identified for approval as part of the consent agenda for this meeting. If a board member wishes to remove any items from the agenda for further discussion prior to taking action, please let either the superintendent or board president know. And the approval of the consent agenda. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approved the consent agenda of February 10th, 2015 as presented with a few changes.
The changes are on number 15, B6. The name is Nicole, not Nikki, and it's 3.5 hours a day. On number 7, we're removing the last line. And on number 9, it's effective on the first 2, October 10th, 2014, for the first 2 employees.
Any other changes to the agenda? Entertain a motion to accept.
Motion.
Mr. Petek, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stahl? Roll call, please.
Petek?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Manson?
Yes.
Sisalik? Yes. Marco?
Yes. Superintendent?
Yes, thank you. Welcome everybody. We appreciate everybody being here. Our first item tonight, we'd like to recognize our Students of the Month. So if we could have our Students of the Month come to your right, my left, and join your principal over by the bookshelf. And we'll bring you up one at a time. We're going to ask you to come up right in front of the table this week so we get a good shot of you on the camera.
And then after you get your presentation, we'd like you to stay up here and we'll get one group shot.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's my honor to recognize Clay Gunkelman, who's standing here beside me, as the Buckeye Junior High Student of the Month. His team has said that he's been chosen as the leader of Buck Squad. He's on the honor roll. He's an all-around great kid. Well-mannered, respectful, and kind to everyone. Clay also is a goalie in soccer, plays baseball, shows animals at the fair, and is an active church member. Congratulations, Clay.
Okay, I'd like to announce the Student of the Month for Buckeye Primary School, Brandon. Brandon is a second grader in Mrs. Gandalf's class. According to Mrs. Gandalf, Brandon is a real pleasure to have in class. Since the beginning of the school year, Brandon has grown leaps and bounds. He loves helping out other students on the computer and is often the very first to offer his help. Brandon also loves math. He recently completed 10 extra pages in math just because he has some extra time at the end of the day. He makes me smile every day and is an overall great student and kid. Brandon Chipkus. Okay, for Buckeye Intermediate School, our student of the month is Jonathan D'Annunzio. Jonathan is a 5th grader in Mrs. Doty's class. According to Mrs. Doty, Jonathan has really shown terrific academic progress this year. He consistently completes all of his homework and goes beyond to achieve greater mastery in math class. Jonathan is kind to his fellow students and has a great positive attitude. She is very happy that Jonathan is in her class this year. Jonathan D'Annunzio.
Tonight I have with me Josh Whitmer. Josh is a senior at the high school. He has a 3.99 GPA, ranked number 14th in his class. He has already been accepted to the University of Toledo, where he will be entering into their pharmacology school. He, at this moment, has already received some scholarship money, and he's already started right now into some undergraduate work with Lorain County Community College. So he is well on his way to a great start in life. Congratulations, John.
That's right, everyone's gone. No girls tonight.
Ladies, boys, hold up your flags.
Like you like each other.
Oh, you got it the wrong way. That's good. Okay. Look right here, boys. Like this. Sorry.
Thank you, guys. We want to thank and congratulate those students of the month. And I know that potentially they may have homework this evening, so we're going to take about a 30-second break. And if those that are here are students, if you'd like to excuse yourself to your left, feel free. You're more than welcome to stay for the entire meeting if you want, but if you'd like to excuse yourself to the left at this time, feel free to do so.
Now, our treasurer's report is the next thing up, which is the real highlight of the meeting.
I can send you copies.
Okay, treasurer's financial report.
This is the financial report as of today. This has the revenue in it for the general fund and the emergency levy fund only. The sales tax and permanent improvement or athletic money, federal money, cafeteria money is not reflected in this forecast. The projections include the 5-year forecast that was passed that will be going off in 5 years. Half of it was in fiscal year 18, and the other half will drop off in fiscal year 19. Nothing in this forecast shows any replacement or new levy going on. I have, based on the current biennium budget that's out there, it has not been approved. State revenue will increase approximately $427,000, our basic state aid. That's reflected in this forecast. The forecast also reflects a decrease of approximately $554,000 in the tangible personal property reimbursement from the state. I know these numbers are very small. The first column is for fiscal year 15, showing our revenue of total $21,698,000. This does include a half a year, calendar year of our tax valuation that went up from $420 million to $429 million. And there are slight increases across for the real estate taxes, except in 2018 And in 2019, you see the drop because of the levy going off the ballot. On the unrestricted grants and aid, in fiscal year 2016, that's where the increase of $400,000, which is in the biennium budget as of today, has not been approved. And then the property tax allocation, you will notice that's gone down $500,000 because of the tangible personal property reimbursement. So our revenue will go from $21.6 million down to $17.7 million at the end of this forecast. The expenditures that I have projected have no additional programs or no reinstatement of anything that has been previously eliminated. It does reflect the negotiated agreement for the certified that was approved in December. There's nothing in here for the classified. Insurance costs are projected to increase 10%, and supplies and purchase services at 3%. These are the main expenditures. The main expenditures that we have are our people and their benefits. We go from $10.3 million this year projected to $11.4 million. This has the increases for 15, 16, and 17, which were negotiated, and then just step increases from then on. Again, the benefits include the retirement, STRS, SERS, and insurance, and workers' comp and Medicare. That is showing a 10% increase across the board. And then the purchase services are things like our utilities, our tuition, out-of-district tuition for special needs, for typical kids. Our open enrollment out goes out of that. If anybody chooses to leave, resides in Buckeye, it chooses to go to another district. And then the supplies and capital outlay. The capital outlay is very small because most of our expenditures for equipment come out of our permanent improvement, which is not reflected in our sales tax fund. Other objects are expenditures from the county auditor's office. That's the main one that is out of there. So our expenditures, just for those items, are going to go from 19.2 to 21 million over the 5-year projected. The operating transfers out are the transfers out that I'm projecting to go to athletics and to food service at the end of the year to close the year, because those are out of different funds. The line that I find the most telling is the next line, which shows the over or under expenditures. So this year, we are going to put $2.2 million into our savings account for future use, which is the levy cycle. Next year, that goes down to 1.3. The following year, 1 million. And then in 2018, we will start spending our savings account. I'm projecting a $6 million carryover at the end of this year. That is not including any encumbrances, that's cash. Encumbrances would be purchase orders that are outstanding that we've already ordered the material for. The bills haven't come in. I did not reflect that in this forecast. Again, this is a 5-year forecast. It's based on what's available today. Again, I don't know what the state's going to do. It's based on the latest state budget that they are talking about that will come out for the biennium. I have no assumptions in here for any levy cycle, and I have no additional money in here for additional programs or additional staff. Any questions?
Questions from the board? Couple comments. The The money in the bank account, the reason for that is due to the cycles. We have a set amount that we collect off the levies, and you pass a levy for 5 years, you need to have enough at the beginning in order to cover the expenses at the end. So that is typical in all school districts now. Also, these numbers are based on what is being talked about in the State House.
That's correct.
Which, if any of us believe that that's what's going to end up being, no, I don't believe it will be. They always change things along the way, so these numbers will change. I pretty much guarantee that. I don't know if you can. Any other comments?
But if I didn't put it in, then
All right. Anything else? How about the internal budgets amended?
exactly, that's my next one. I'm asking the board to approve any internal budgets and amended certificates and appropriations that will be filed with the county auditor's office.
Any questions? Entertain a motion? Sellers? So is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stahl? Roll call.
Siselic?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Etek?
Yes.
Parko?
Yes. Financial Advisory Committee. Who wants to handle it?
Thank you. We have vacancies on the financial advisory committee. We've got in Litchfield and Liverpool Township. We've had 2 people step up to the plate that have volunteered to serve. Kathleen Wisnowick and Katie Rako from Liverpool Township. And I'd like we did not meet this past Monday because it was closed because of snow. We'll meet next month, but I'd like to ask the board for permission to appoint them to the financial advisory committee.
So that was a motion.
Yes, sir.
Was that a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mattson?
Yes.
Siselic?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Etek?
Yes.
Parko?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent's information officer. Oh, I did skip that. Public participation. The public is invited to speak to any agenda items and other school topics at this time. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Direct questions will not be answered by the Board of Education members at this time. However, answers will be given at a later date as appropriate. Anyone like to speak tonight? No? Thank you. Now, Superintendent.
Thank you. My first item, I'm very excited, and I'd like to welcome our 5th grade team for being here this evening. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to invite you to come on up front. We have a very exciting project that's been going on this year in 5th grade. I want to thank our teachers and Mr. Finley for their excitement about this project and carrying it out. And I will allow them to introduce themselves and turn it over to them.
Sorry,
Oh, sure. Hi. Well, this is Lucas. Hi, I'm Sarah Harrison. This is my 2nd year at Buckeye and teaching 5th grade math and social studies. I'm Lisa Auber, 5th grade math as well.
Heidi Silcox, Science and Social Studies. Diane Christopher, Language Arts.
Liz Alexander, Language Arts and Science. And Amy Doty, Math and Social Studies.
I'm Rich Finley, Principal at Intermediate School. And thank you for a spot on the agenda this evening. And of course, you know, 5th grade is in the middle of a really wonderful, exciting technology initiative this year. We have 90 new MacBook Air laptops to use exclusively with our 5th grade students and staff. And this began in the 2014-15 school year. The intermediate 5th grade staff and myself wanted to give you kind of a thumbnail description of how these computers are being utilized here at school and how this is starting to become truly a 21st century classroom. So we produced the video, and so Mrs. Doty there, maybe you could cue it up.
Sure. And hopefully you can see it. If not, there's some extra chairs out there.
And they also worked very hard on this with our tech department, and Lori Green were very instrumental in producing this video. And it's kind of like a documentary, which kind of just doesn't take a whole lot.
Independent learning. So we have kids that by Christmas were working on 6th grade math and computer programming, able to go on and do things that we just didn't have the opportunity to do last year because we didn't have access to technology as much.
We would have to wait like 5 days to get into the computer lab, and with the laptops we can just do it, get them out, and then just go on it right away.
Right, so what are you working on, Erin?
The laboratory test.
Okay. And what kind of problem is that?
Adding mixed numbers.
Do you use your whiteboard a lot when you're working on the Moodle test?
Yeah.
So you do all your computation stuff? What do you like about taking tests online?
It gives you your answer right away. We have to find the main idea and summarize multimedia presentations and visual presentations.
We look up these facts and we want to write and write and write and save it on Google Docs so that we can share it.
I have a space document.
Okay.
Science.
In science? What subject were you learning about?
Solar system.
The solar system. What did you do this on?
Space.
And what format? What did you use to make this? Google Docs? Good.
I have a science or social studies assignment to read. I can now take technology and have it read to them instead of pulling it aside and making them just be me as a special ed teacher. Now they can do it on their own.
You're making an inclusion classroom an actual inclusion classroom. We're not separating the students that do have the accommodation out.
That's the big thing. They're very excited about learning. Now, I see a lot more engagement. They're just very excited about whatever we do, whenever we do.
It's getting better, telling you better all the time. Yes, I admit it's getting better, it's getting better. Since you've been mine, getting so much better.
As you can see, the classroom is changing a lot here in recent times. And just to let you know, just to follow up here, just on a further note, our 5th grade staff has done a wonderful job integrating this into their classroom. Kids absolutely love it, and they just have an unlimited ceiling to information now. It's not just a textbook that they had before. They can look up anything, and it's just been wonderful. And also, on a further note, out of nearly 170 students that use these laptops on a daily basis. We have 0 instances of damage or vandalism. We've had only 1 violation from a student discipline issue. Other than routine updates that are required, our tech department has had not to fix 1 single machine. They've been extremely reliable, and this has just been an amazing experience for our students and our teachers. And I just want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to throw in there that we especially wanted to thank you for the fact that you went with the MacBook Air as opposed to a Chromebook. There are so many things that we can do on a MacBook that we couldn't do on a Chromebook. Some of those things are just that they're faster, that we have more apps available than just like a Google Doc and the Google Apps. I'm doing something with the classroom library right now, which is an app I couldn't have used on another program. I've used stop motion animation. We're using iMovie and GarageBand. The program that you have in the 6th grade with robotics, again, those are all things that we can do on a Mac that maybe we couldn't do with just a netbook or something smaller. So I just want to say an extra thank you for going the extra step to get the Mac Airs, because it has been absolutely amazing. I have 14 students now that are working on 6th grade math. I've got 7 that are on computer programming, and 1 that's now designing their own websites using the HTML markup language as opposed to just point and click stuff. It's amazing what these kids are doing with them, just amazing. And they cry when they know that they are not going to be available during testing because other students have to use them. They're like, oh, we're not gonna have them all week, because we become spoiled, and we thank you for that.
I'd like to thank all the teachers that are working with these. It makes it much easier to support doing more technology when you know that they're being used. And it's my hope that we can continue this as long as we can find ways to sustain it and bring more into the district. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moving on to my other informational items, I'd like to make an announcement that we are to the point that we need to update our strategic plan. I would like to take this opportunity to invite our community to participate in the creation of our strategic plan. I will soon be sending out invitations to our families to participate in this project with us. We will look to have a 5-year strategic plan, and those invitations will go out to our families very soon. We also will put those out to our community so that our community can also participate with us in creation of that strategic plan. And the strategic plan obviously is very, very important to our district to help us provide the goals and directions that we need to assure that we're doing what we need to do to support our community and to support our students. So please look for those invitations coming out very soon. My next item is just a big thank you to those that work in our district to remove snow, to make sure that our walks are clear, our parking lots are clear, that they're salted. For our bus drivers, I want to give a big thank you to their driving our students safely every single day when the weather is inclement. Our maintenance crew, all of our custodians that help in that process, and our contractors that come in and also help to remove all the snow from our parking lots and our sidewalks. It is extremely important that we are able to provide that safe environment to our students and staff, and all these folks do a wonderful job in seeing that and ensuring that that happens. So thank you publicly to them for making that happen. My next item, I'd like to talk a little bit. There's been a lot of talk about calamity days and this switch from days to hours that the state recently made. And I would like to take a minute just to explain that and the impact to our school district. The state of Ohio recently did make a switch in which we were always calculated our school years in days. And they prescribed the number of days that we needed to be in school in order for it to be an official school year. They have changed that to hours. Many districts have found, including Buckeye, that when that change was made to hours, that many school districts were well above the number of minimum hours to be counted as a school day. So there have been a lot of questions regarding calamity days and how do calamity days fit into that picture. I will bring, and I will make reference in a little bit about our school calendar. Last year, we had a plan to make up days after 5 calamity days, and that plan, I think, worked fairly well for our school district. In talking with people and talking with our staff and our families, I certainly don't believe that there's anybody that believes that our students missing 10 or 15 or 20 days of instruction is positive for our students. So our district, with the adoption of our calendar next month, will adopt a similar plan as to what we implemented last year, in that we will have 5 calamity days in which we will not make up, but any day after 5, we will make those days up. Again, in a very similar fashion to what we did last year. And allow me to outline that on day 6, we will extend our day again. And I have to tell you that I give our staff, particularly our teaching staff, a lot of credit. They really embrace that extra time with kids and use that time to prepare kids for testing, to prepare kids for success in their class and beyond. So day 6 and day 7, we would extend the school day in order to make up for those 2 days that we would potentially miss. Day 8 and day 9, we would engage in blizzard bags again, which is what we did last year again. That seemed to work very well in providing extended learning opportunities for our students outside of the school day. And then day 10 would be an additional day added to the end of our school year. Right now, as we sit here today, we've missed 3 days, and I'm hoping that that's it, that we don't have any more calamity days this year. And this wouldn't even come into play. But in the event, again, that we do have additional snow days or calamity days that become necessary with the approval of our board at our March meeting, this is the plan that we would put into effect based on our calendar. So I just want to explain that. We are about between 19 and 20 days over the minimum school year as a result of the change to hours. But again, we could not afford our students being out of class that much. So thus the recommendation for the approval of the calendar with those calamity days included in that. And with that, my next item, I'd just like to announce to our community that our 2015-16 calendar is posted on our website. This is the calendar that we hope to have approved at our next board meeting in March. So if there's any comment that anybody has regarding that calendar, please feel free to notify me or send me an email or call me with your comments on that calendar. Again, that should be posted at this time.
You can go to recommendations.
I'll roll right into my recommendation items then. Thank you. My first 2 items I'd like to do together because they are very similar items. Our softball team and our baseball team would like to have permission to go to South Carolina this year over spring break in order to get their season started in a little bit better weather than we might have here in Northeast Ohio. They would plan to go to South Carolina in the Myrtle Beach area from March 29th to April 3rd. The purpose of the trip for team bonding and play 4 to 5 varsity games. And again, hopefully decent weather down in Myrtle Beach. There will be approximately 16 students going on both teams. They will have at least 2 chaperones attending with them. The cost will be approximately $150 per student after the Home Run Club has provided their support financially for this trip for both teams, and there will be no cost to the district thanks to the support of the Home Run Club and the students paying the expenses for that trip. I also bring you our county service agreement. As you know, we have an agreement with the county. There's quite a bit of history with our Educational Service Center providing services to our school district. Originally, the 3 local school districts in the county pulled together through an Educational Service Center in order to reduce costs by pulling services together by the Educational Service Center. That continues today. I'm bringing you the agreement with the Educational Service Center. There are some changes that I would like to highlight for you today. There are some increases to some of the fees that the ESC is charging us. Many of those individual fees for individuals as a result of an increase to health insurance. After having had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Karam, those increases are a result of health insurance. One of the big changes that I'd like to ask for your consideration for in this agreement is an increase to our nursing services. And I'd like to explain that we have, over the years, as a result of financial issues that our district has had, have cut nursing services way back to really to bare bones. We have an increase in the number of medically fragile students in our district. There have been changes to state law, specifically laws that relates to the diabetes law and the care of children with regards to diabetes. And I'm really fearful that we're getting to the point that as we increase the number of medically fragile students, that I think we're opening our district up to some liability as a result of not having more medical services available to our students. So my proposal in working with the ESC would be an increase of about $16,000 for nursing services that would take our current, we have about 3 hours per day of nursing services, and that would take us to about 6 hours per day. And you can imagine the pressure, I guess, on our current staff when we have a medical issue and there's not a medical provider within our district. So that really is the biggest item that shows an increase in this ESC agreement. So with your consideration, I would ask for your approval of that item today. My next item that I bring to you is an administrative supervisor and exempt salary schedule. We have a salary schedule which provides for the salaries for our administrative staff, our supervisory staff, and our exempt classified staff. There are a few changes to this that I would ask for you to consider. We have not, to this point, have never had a curriculum director position on our salary schedule. With a potential retirement, have not gotten anything on that yet. I believe it's important to have that position on our salary schedule. It certainly doesn't mean that we have to hire a curriculum director within our district. That currently, that position is hired through the ESC. But it gives us the option to bring that position in-house if it makes financial sense for us to do that. So that's one change. We also have added, as we have done with all of our employees, we have added 10%, the 10% retirement that our district has traditionally paid for these employees. We've added that back so that the employee is now paying for that 10%, but we've added that back into salary, so it's really a wash for the employee. But we've added that 10% into the supervisory line and the classified line to reflect that in their salary. And then lastly, in keeping with our philosophy of having incentive-based contracts for our employees, I would recommend that we add to this salary schedule a increase to salaries based on our exempt secretaries' evaluations. So if they have a 5-point scale for their evaluation, and if they earn a 4.1 to 5.0 in their evaluation, they would receive a 3% increase to their salary. And if they had a 3.1 to a 4.0 on their evaluation, that they would earn a 2% increase to their salary. Anything less than a 3 there would be no increase to their salary based on their evaluation. And again, this is really keeping in line with what we've done philosophically with all of our administrators and supervisory personnel. Lastly, I'd just like to point out again, and this is a large responsibility of our administrators, is the evaluation of our employees. And I do have in there a 3% increase if an evaluation is not done. And I believe that is fair to our employees. We don't want them to be reliant on this and then not get an evaluation, and potentially not have the ability to earn an increase because an evaluation is not done. So I would ask for your approval of that supervisory exempt salary schedule. My next item is an out-of-state field trip. We have a teacher who is requested to attend an in-service opportunity, professional development opportunity, Mr. Paul Shercliffe. This is the North Carolina Technology and Education Society. They put on a very good conference every year. Mr. Shercliffe has asked to go to this. He has offered to pay all the expenses for this opportunity. It is March 3rd through 6th, and one of these days is a non-student day, so there would not be any need for a substitute for that day. And I would ask for your approval of that request. My next item is that I would ask for you to give us permission to go out to seek bids for additional security cameras in our district. We would be looking to install security cameras in our junior high school, as well as other various areas throughout our district, including parking lots and potentially other buildings throughout our district. And this would give us the ability to go out for those bids.
Anyone want to make a motion to accept those recommendations?
Motion.
Mr. Stahl, is there a second? Second. Mr. Petek?
May I make one correction?
Yep.
The out-of-state trip on the first one for the baseball team should be April 4th. I think they're coming back the same day.
Yeah, I would hope they'd come back.
I
just to know which day
yes,
they come back.
well,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Go ahead, roll call.
Stahl?
Yes.
Petek?
Yes.
Manson?
Yes.
Siselic?
Yes.
Barkow?
Yes. New business.
Thank you. I bring to you these policies, and we've seen them before. I would ask for your approval of these policies today. These policies are as a result of changes in the law. We're lucky to work with Neola, who provides us updates and updates our policies. And all of these policies are new, and as I said, as a result of changes in the law.
Is there a motion to accept the policy changes?
Make a motion.
Siselic? Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Mattson? Discussion? All right. There is one thing. Not all of the checks were done on the options on all the policies. I know that we're only making the changes that were in bold or were striped from it. I want to make sure that the options that we had previously selected remain. Okay.
We'll make it.
Yes.
Also, after they publish this, how do you know that it's going to match what they send us to what you've highlighted and added in bold? Way back like that. Because that's what we put out public. Right. The last thing is, the next time we do this many policies, this was 9 PDFs, zip files, hundreds of pages of reading. Let's see if we do this in a work session, so we can put them up on the board for everybody to see at one time as we have some discussion. Because I was trying to read through notes, and it's a lot of reading. It's a long time.
It's fun reading also for everyone. And the other item that we had talked a couple months ago about having a secondary person for taking complaints, and that's going to be included in this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Siselic?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
P-TECH?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Marco?
Yes. Personnel.
Thank you. Under certified personnel, I have some contract changes to bring to you. Congratulations to these individuals that have gone to school and gotten additional education. We are lifelong learners, obviously. Jennifer Greathouse from bachelor's to bachelor's 15, Betty Niddle from master's 15 to master's 30, and Lori Luth from master's to master's 15. Thank you very much for your additional education and continuing to do that and be a good example for our students. Under classified personnel, I have some employments to bring to you. The first one is Miss Jessie Speck. I did bring her to you before as superintendent secretary. She really is fills the role of our EMIS coordinator within our district. She worked 8 hours per day, 260 days per year. The reason it's indicating a corrected contract because she has a 45-day probationary period, and when we originally brought this to, I believe we indicated a year-long probationary period. So that would correct that to the appropriate 45-day probationary period. Ms. Vicki Calvin, who is here this evening, sitting right in the front. I want to welcome Ms. Vicki Calvin as my new secretary, and she is spent her first day with us today, actually. So she came here tonight, so I think that's a great sign. I was worried she might not come back after today. And she'll work 8 hours per day, 260 days per year on a 1-year probationary contract and be paid $42,500. So welcome, thank you for being here this evening. She'll probably be a fixture here at our meetings as she helps us with these meetings. My next item, I'd ask for you to hire Judy Eblin, Support Services Secretary. She is also here with us in the front row. Welcome, Judy. Glad to have you here this evening. She has also recently started and has been doing an outstanding job for us so far. She will work, it was effective February 3rd, and will work 6.5 hours per day, 260 days per year, and will receive a 1-year probationary contract and pay $24,175 annually. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Also, I bring to you Ms. Jill Basita. I don't believe Jill is here this evening with us, though. Jill, I would bring to you as our new junior high secretary, effective January 20th. She'll work 8 hours per day, 5 days per week, 207 days per year. She'll receive a 1-year probationary contract and paid at step 1 of the building secretary negotiated agreement. Also, I would ask for you to approve to hire Michelle Seymour, who is a bus driver, effective February 11th. Ms. Seymour will receive a 1-year probationary contract and paid at step 1 of the negotiated agreement. I don't believe she's here. Let's see if you can beat the lead. Miss Nicole, also known as Nikki Bardinelli, elementary cook. I'd ask for you to hire her as of February 11th. She'll receive a 1-year probationary contract and be paid at step 1 of the negotiated agreement. My next item, this is the one item that we needed to correct, and I'll explain. A reduction in hours for Miss Sue Cray. She would be reduced in her hours from 8 to 4 hours as a result of a medical situation. We did strike the last sentence, which indicates she will resign from 4 hours of her 8-hour position. We're striking that. She's actually being reduced as a result of a medical situation, not resigning. My next item, number 8, is a resignation of Miss Laura Pitek, who's a high school working in our cafeteria. She is resigning that position only. She will continue on as a bus driver for us. And I know a lot of students in high school will be disappointed about this resignation. She's done a wonderful job in getting our salad bar up and going and encouraging kids to take advantage of that. I have 3 new continuing contracts to bring to you. Steve Temple, food service, Christy Cash, paraprofessional, and Nicole Shevchenko, a bus driver. This also, we made a correction on the first 2 from October 10th to October 14th. Correct?
2014.
2014, oh, thank you. So I bring you those continuing contracts. Also under C, classified subs, Michelle Seymour as the secretary sub, Dina Beaudry and Michelle Yanulis as paraprofessional. I have several supplemental contracts for your approval this evening. The first one, correction, Courtney Smith is an assistant softball coach and was listed incorrectly on a previous agenda. Lindsay Valente and Kim Haig are working as mentors for us this year, and per the new contract, they needed to be on this agenda with 2 teachers that they're working with as mentors. I have a resignation of Taylor Pappenmeyer as our varsity cheerleading coach, and I bring to you a hiring, a replacement of Taylor of Cassie Mislanka for varsity cheerleading coach. Due to Ms. Speck's movement to the board office as secretary, she is resigning her position as student council advisor, and would ask for you to hire Teresa Ferrello to take that place as student council advisor at the junior high at 50% compensation.
Do we have a motion on the personnel items?
Motion.
Mr. Vitek, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stahl?
Mr. Williams, could we add on number 7, 4 hours per day for the reduction?
Sure.
The board is okay with that?
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes.
Special congratulations to Mrs. Middle. Masters 30, good job. Congratulations.
Roll call, please.
Vitek.
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Manson.
Yes.
Siselic.
Yes.
Barco.
Yes.
I do have one donation to bring to you this evening. I want to thank the Buckeye Athletic Booster Club. They are making a donation of $2,000 to our school district. This would be to pay one of our coaches who worked with our football team, Mr. Jesse Dooling, this year. We will accept that donation and take out any applicable taxes and give that to Mr. Dooling on behalf of our Athletic Booster Club.
Entertain a motion on the donation.
Motion.
Mr. Stahl, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Vitek, any other discussion? Roll call.
Stahl.
Yes.
Vitek.
Yes.
Manson. Siselic.
Yes.
Barco.
Yes. Board comments. Anyone have any comments tonight?
Just want to welcome new employees to the district and thank you to our 5th grade teachers.
Yes.
I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight.
Yeah, the presentation was wonderful. That's fantastic. It's exciting to see that and hear all the good that's coming out of that. So, great job. Keep it up. And new employees, well.
All right. 2 of us do sit on another board. We sit on the Career Center board, and there are some new things that are taking place over there that the public might see in the future. Currently, they're replacing boilers in our ag building, and they're going to be doing it in the main building also. That building happens to be about the same age as a little bit older than our high school. So they're updating the facilities over there. They're going to be replacing parking lot for the students section in the back this coming summer. And also an interesting thing is the City of Medina has donated another fire truck, which won't fit in the current garage at the Career Center. So they will be building a new garage for that near the fire tower. So those are some things you might see happening over there at the Career Center. So there's lots of things happening over there, educationally as well as what you see physically. Anything else? Entertain a motion for adjournment then.
Motion.
Mr. Vitek, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stahl. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Vitek.
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Seth Selig.
Yes.
Barco.
Yes.